What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast, back for another week. I am your host, Alex Leak, and this is the Week 4 Eagles at Packers episode. The 1-2 Eagles at the 3-0 Packers in Lambeau Field on Thursday night to start Week 4. A big game. I picked the Eagles to win this one, but I'm not super confident, or I wasn't super confident as the Eagles just haven't looked that great this year. The Packers defense has been playing great, out to a 3-0 start in Lambeau, where Aaron Rodgers is great in the month of September. 14-0-1 in September home games for Aaron Rodgers. So tough task beating the Packers in Lambeau early on in the season. So a big game. Good news for the Eagles is that they get wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey back. Still no Deshaun Jackson though, but that's better than not having either of them. So big game, Eagles. Big question for them in this one is, can they go on the road on a short week and beat the undefeated Packers in Lambeau Field? Otherwise, the Eagles are looking at a 1-3 start to the season. So a big game. But the Packers defense has been playing pretty good to start the year, only averaging 11 points a game through the first 3 games of the year. A quote from Aaron Rodgers before the game, we can't expect our defense to shut everybody down. They have been, but at some point the offense is going to have to wake up and start making some plays. So that was his message to the team going into the game. The Packers defense has allowed 38 points the first 3 games of the season, which is the fewest by a defense since 2001. So, big game going into this one. The Packers defense is ranked 5th against the pass, but like I said last week talking about the Packers, they're vulnerable against the run, ranked 25th versus the run, 25th ranked run defense going into this game. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz, career 8-13 record on the road, but he's also 3-0 on Thursday night. So something had to give in this game. Started out, Packers' first play was a throw to running back Jamal Williams, who was stopped for a no gain, and he takes a hard late hit to the head by Eagles defensive end Derek Barnett, which knocks Williams out for a few seconds, and then he's carted off on a stretcher. Good news for the Packers and Jamal Williams is that he was conscious and able to move extremities. Barnett flagged for a 15-yard penalty for a late hit. You gotta let that one go. I'm surprised the whistle hadn't blown, or maybe it had, but Barnett's gotta not come in and clean it up the way he did. But the Packers are able to move the ball down the field, and Aaron Jones spins out of 2 tackles for a 3-yard touchdown to put the Packers up 7-0 early in this one. Now, Packers on offense, Davante Adams targeted a lot in this one, but going back to last season, Davante Adams was targeted 169 times, which is the second most in the NFL, behind Julio Jones. And going into this season, Rodgers says that he wants to get Adams the ball even more often. Rodgers starts this game with 10 straight completions for the 4th time in his career, and the first time since 2016. Mason Crosby hits a 30-yard field goal, and the Packers get out to a 10-0 lead in this game, and the Eagles have trailed by 10 or more points in every game this season. So not a great start for Philly, but Carson Wentz leads the Eagles back down. He throws a 6-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey to cut the Packer lead down to 10-7. The late flag was thrown on the play by the officials for offensive pass interference, but they picked up the flag after reviewing it. Good decision by the officials to pick up the flag. I just thought Zach Ertz was blocking on the play. Let's stop calling penalties for stuff that has nothing to do with the play. The throw was to the other side of the field to Jeffrey. This block had nothing to do with the play. Good decision by the officials to pick up the flag. Crosby comes down and gets a 31-yard field goal to extend the Packer lead to 13-7. Then Carson Wentz comes back and hits Dallas Goedert for a 3-yard touchdown pass, and the Eagles take a 14-13 lead. Then Jordan Howard will rush for a 1-yard touchdown. Eagles take 21-13 lead. And then Aaron Rodgers fires a 19-yard touchdown pass to Geronimo Allison. And the Packers trail 21-20 at halftime. Eagles up. Now, see, the Packers score there to make it 21-19, and every other team in the NFL is going for 2 points there, trying to tie it up at halftime, trying to, go for 2. I like the Packers' decision here to kick it. Make it 21-20. Look, there's no reason. I am not about all these 2-point conversion attempts, all right? The only times that I would do 2-point conversions are when I absolutely needed it to make it a 1-score game or to tie the game with, late, or if I was trying to come back and that would cut it down to 2 scores or something. Or if my kicker is struggling, making extra points. Those are the only reasons I would do it. Down 21-19 in the first half, there's no reason to force it. I like the coaching decision here. There's no reason to be like, hey, you can't win the game at halftime. There's nothing to be gained by tying the game at halftime. I'm perfectly fine with kicking the extra point, make it a 1-point game. There's plenty of football left, okay? No need to, I think these coaches get caught up in going for 2 early on, and a couple missed 2-point conversions, and next thing you know, you're playing behind the 8 ball here. And the other team's kicking extra points, so you're down 1, now you're down 2, now you're down 3 points for no reason, when if you just kick the extra points, game's tied. So, whatever. That's my rant over. 21-20 Eagles lead at halftime. In the second half, Carson Wentz throws a 20-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Howard. And just like I was talking about, here comes Doug Peterson, having the Eagles go for 2. Now, what sense does this make? All right, touchdown makes it 27-20. An extra point puts you up 8, right? 8 points, you're putting the other team in a position where they have to go for 2 at some point. Or, that's what it's looking like at least. There's no reason to go for 2 here. Kick the extra point, go up 8. The pressure's on the other team to need 8 points. There's no reason for you to do anything different. For some reason, Doug Peterson decides to go for 2 here and doesn't get it, of course. And now it's a 7-point game. So the Packers didn't have to go for 2, don't have to do anything crazy. The Eagles, on their own, went and messed up the score and made it a 7-point game instead of 8. Absolutely unnecessary. So this is where my type of thinking as a head coach is: make the wait for the other team to mess up, because they're probably going to do so. It's football, mistakes happen, coaches make bad decisions, and the game comes back to you. It happens. So in this instance, Matt LaFleur decides to be patient, just kicks the extra point. Oh, what the hell, we're down 1 point at halftime, but we feel like our offense can get points when it needs to. The Eagles score. For no reason at all, they go for 2, and it works out for the Packers. LaFleur is like, look, I didn't have to go for 2, and look, now we're down 7 instead of 8. And, sure, if you get the 2-point conversion here, if you're Philly, it's a 2-possession game. I understand how that might be appealing or sexy to be up 9 points there, but there's absolutely no reason for it. There's no reason to be 29-20 here. Kick the extra point, you're up 28-20. The reason that you would be up 8 here is because you executed and got touchdowns. The reason Green Bay would be down 8 here is because on 2 of their drives they had to settle for field goals. So if you're Philly, use that to your advantage. Instead, you go for 2. Those failed touchdowns by Philly don't matter anymore because now they're within 1 score. They're within 7. They don't need that 2-point conversion. It makes no sense to me to go for 2, especially when you're up. The only thing you can gain, really, because in my opinion, a 2-point conversion is one of the hardest plays to convert in the game. It's hard. It's right there in that no man's land where you pass it and it's all jumbled up in the end zone. There's not a lot of room to maneuver, or you run it and it's it's not fourth and inches. It's not inches. It's not 1 yard. It's 2 yards. So it's tougher to run that too. 2-point conversion 2 yards out is difficult in my opinion. And a lot of times you see teams go for the 2-point conversion and fail. So I'm not a fan of going for 2 when it's unnecessary. Go for 2 when you absolutely need it, not when you're up 8 or not when you're up 7 and for some reason in your mind you want to be up 9. No, kick the extra point, be up 8, put the pressure on the other team. Anyways, I'm full of rants on this one because I hate the unnecessary 2-point conversion crap that has infiltrated the NFL, and all these head coaches feel the need to go for it to be cool and hip or whatever, but it's costing these teams games in the end, in my opinion. So, long story short, Eagles have a 27-20 lead. Here comes Aaron Rodgers with a 14-yard touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham, and an extra point later, the game's tied at 27. If the Eagles had just kicked it, they'd still have the lead here. But anyways, Jordan Howard 2-yard rushing touchdown. Eagles go back up 34-27. Hey, Doug Peterson, why not go for 2 here as well? Oh, you don't only want to be up 6? Okay, well, kick the extra point, 7-point lead. Imagine that. 34-27 Philly. Mid-4th quarter, the Packers get 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Now, here's where I'm going to get on Matt LaFleur. 1st and goal at the 1. The Packers call 2 fake handoffs, 4 passes, and they call for a shotgun play on 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. Look, I understand you're a rookie head coach, Matt LaFleur, but you've been around the game long enough to understand football. There is absolutely no reason to throw the ball 4 times from the 1-yard line, let alone shotgun on 4th and goal from the 1. How about you play some power football, man up, and just run the thing down the Eagles' throats and get a touchdown? Instead, they throw it 4 times, and they turn the ball over on downs. I would have ran the ball at least once. Personally, I would have ran it twice, 1st and 2nd down. If you get stuffed twice, then look, the defense has made a point that you're not going to run it on them. Then throw the ball in 3rd and 4th. To throw the ball 4 times, 2 fake handoffs that the Eagles defense didn't even buy. They were like, they're throwing the ball on us. I get that the Eagles are a good run D, but try them out. See what your offensive line can do. See if you can establish your will here. Down 7, instead they throw it 4 times, can't get it. To throw salt on the wound, Aaron Rodgers on 4th and goal actually buys time and finds Jimmy Graham open in the back of the end zone. But Jimmy Graham, it looked like he was trying to show off or something. Tries to catch the pass one-handed. He was open. Go up with 2 hands, Jimmy Graham. Bring that thing down and tie the game. Instead, he goes up with 1 hand, can't make the catch, incomplete, turnover on downs. You could tell by the look on Aaron Rodgers' face he wasn't happy with that effort. So, mid-4th quarter, Packers still down 7. All right. Packers 2nd and goal from the 2. They moved all the way down here late in the 4th. 2nd and goal on the 2-yard line. 30 seconds left. Again, I would like to see the Packers run the ball here or, try something, but they try a slant pass to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. The pass is broken up by Eagles' 3rd-string corner, James Craig, and the pass is intercepted by linebacker Nigel Bradham. And that's the game as the Eagles beat the Packers 34-27 in Lambeau. The Packers' first loss of the season. And a home loss to the Eagles. A bad loss for Green Bay. And just to reiterate, man, they got to figure out their red zone play calling, because they had the ball at the Eagles 1 yard line, and they had the ball at the Eagles 2 yard line. Both times they couldn't punch it into the end zone. You got to figure out that you got Aaron Jones, you got a good offensive line. Look, try and play some power football, pound the rock into the end zone. All these passes on short yardage aren't working out. Short yardage to go to the goal line. They're not working out. The Eagles defense played great goal line defense, and it's not too surprising to me that you throw the ball that many times down there in the red zone, in the end zone, and the ball is going to get batted up and picked off. Haven't we seen this before with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl? That was a little bit more obvious with Marshawn Lynch, but still, I would like to run the ball at least a couple times there in the red zone, from the 1 or 2 yard line. But that's just old school football. I guess we don't do that anymore. Anyways, man, I sound like an old man on this one, but I'm not happy with a lot of the play calling going on by these head coaches in 2019. Eagles stats: Carson Wentz goes 16 of 27 for 160 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a turnover-free game for him. Jordan Howard combines for 115 yards and 3 touchdowns, and becomes the first visiting player with 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown in a game at Lambeau since 1958. Big game for Jordan Howard. Eagles defensive end Derek Barnett records a sack and a forced fumble in the game, and kicker Jake Elliott goes 4 for 4 on extra points. For the Packers, quarterback Aaron Rodgers, 34 of 53 for 422 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 turnovers, an interception, and a fumble lost. Running back Aaron Jones combines for 58 yards and a touchdown. Davante Adams catches 10 for 180 yards. 8 career games with 10 or more catches for Davante Adams, most by a Packer since 1950. So you see Davante Adams, his usage rate is unreal right now in Green Bay, which would lead me to believe they need some more help at wide receiver. If you're just feeding Davante Adams nonstop, you got rid of Jordy Nelson, didn't replace him. Got rid of Randall Cobb, didn't replace him. If I'm a Packer fan, I would like to see them bring in another weapon to go with Davante Adams, another established 1 or 2 option, because all this usage rate for Davante Adams, eventually he could get beat up. So we'll see. Mason Crosby goes 2 for 2 on field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points. A big stat in the loss for the Packers is they failed to record a sack after posting 6 sacks in Week 3 against the Broncos. And another interesting stat, the Packers have not allowed a first quarter touchdown yet this season. But yeah, no pressure on Carson Wentz, no sacks recorded, and they allow the Eagles to put up 34 points on them. That's a recipe for a loss in Lambeau. Injuries: Sidney Jones hurts his hamstring in the game. Packers running back Jamal Williams suffers a concussion. And tackle Brian Bulaga leaves the game with a shoulder. Next up, the 0-3 Jets will go to the Link to take on the 2-2 Eagles. So the Eagles were staring a 1-3 record in the face. Now, 3-2 looks like a reasonable option for the Eagles with a game against the winless Jets. So if the Eagles can improve to 3-2, they'll turn their season around rather quickly. Big win here on Thursday night in Lambeau. The Packers had started the year out on fire at 3-0, but now they fall to 3-1 with this home loss. And next up, at Jerry World, at the Dallas Cowboys, who are 3-1 themselves. So 3-1 Packers at 3-1 Cowboys on Sunday. A big game. If the Packers lose that, they'll fall to 3-2 and have a losing streak. So, big game for the Packers on Sunday at the Dallas Cowboys with Zeke and Dak and all those guys going up against their former teammate Randall Cobb. So, Big games coming up this week. Tough loss for the Packers on Thursday night, but they'll see if they can rebound in Jerry World. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Have a great week, guys. Peace out.